paint on your skin, the blades chained to your arms. You look like a slave who turned his shackles into weapons. That scar across your belly tells of a battle that nearly emptied you. Among the Dothraki, a man only keeps scars if he loses. Tell me, Ghost of Sparta, do you count that mark as pride or as shame?
Every scar is both. Pride for surviving, shame for how many died before the lesson was learned. Your braid tells me you've never been cut in battle, Drogo. In my land, even gods bleed. Do your men ever question a leader who's never felt his own blood spill? Or do they fear your legend too much to see you as flesh?
A Khal who bleeds too often loses his Khalasar. My men see strength in the unbroken braid, not lies. Blood spilled belongs to the enemy. Yet I wonder, your blades once served Ares, the butcher of Olympus. You carried his fire across cities like a storm. Did you ever fight for yourself? Or have you always been another god's hound?
Ares deceived me, used rage to chain me tighter than any iron. When I broke free, gods fell by my hand. I have killed pantheons, Drogo, not for sport, but because gods feast on the weak like carrion. You serve no gods, yet you glorify conquest. Tell me, does the horse lord march for his people's survival, or only to hear the sound of their fear?
The scream of fear is a song, but it is not the reason we ride. We ride because stillness kills faster than swords. A Khalasar must move, burn, claim, or it starves. You killed gods, yet they still circle you, Norse, Greek, all waiting to drag your son into their wars. My son would have ruled the world. What future do you give yours, besides war in every land?
My son, Atreus, carries wisdom I never had. He questions, learns, tempers fire with thought. I killed to end cycles. He seeks to begin new ones. Perhaps you believe conquest is legacy, but what empire lasts? The Mongols rode, the Persians ruled, yet all fell. Even Alexander, hailed as the world's conqueror, rotted in Babylon. What empire does Drogo imagine will outlast death?
Empires rot, yes, but names endure in song. My riders carve fear into the earth, and long after the bones fade, stories remain. Khal Drogo, the stallion who mounts the world, already lives beyond my body. Tell me, Spartan, when children whisper your name, do they see a father who taught patience, or a monster who tore Olympus apart for vengeance?
They see both, and I accept both. Monster and father, destroyer and protector. My scars remind me daily of what blind rage costs. Tell me, Khal, when you left Daenerys, did you think your legend would hold without you? Or do you fear that her dragons, not your braid, will outlive your memory?
She was my Khaleesi, my moon. Dragons or no dragons, her rise came from my gift. I gave her the blood oath of 10,000 riders. Without Drogo, she was just a child sold like cattle. Do you not see the same in your boy? Without Kratos, does Atreus become anything more than prey for gods?
He becomes what he chooses. I carved a path so he could walk freely. When Odin came, when Thor swung his hammer, Atreus did not cower. He sought answers. I taught him strength, not chains. Your gift to Daenerys was fire without restraint. Mine to Atreus is strength that bends into wisdom. Which legacy breeds more than ashes?
Wisdom without conquest is weakness. A Khal who waits for questions dies before the answer comes. The world respects fire, not whispers. Even your Norse tales speak of Ragnarok, blood fire, the ending storm. Did your wisdom prevent it, or did your very presence call it forth? Perhaps the world itself cannot survive men like us.
Ragnarok came because gods refused to change, not because I existed. I fought to protect, not to feed hunger. You call wisdom weakness, but what of love? You loved Daenerys, yes, but was it love or possession? Did you see her as moon of your life, or as the vessel for the stallion prophecy you craved?
Possession and love are the same in the language of blood. She bore my son, my legacy, my conquest yet to be written. You speak as though love should free, not bind. Tell me, Kratos, did your love for your first wife free her, or did your hands blinded by eras crush her life in flame?
My wife died because I sought power without restraint. Heirs tricked me into slaughtering what I loved most. That is the weight I carry, heavier than chains. I learned that love protects, not consumes. You see Daenerys as gift bearer. I see Atreus as proof that love can temper rage. Which vision will endure when both our bones are dust?
Dust does not sing. Fire and fear do. Khal is remembered not for restraint, but for how many lands fell before him. You talk of love like a shield, but shields break. Rage drives men further. Would Sparta remember you if you were gentle? Or do they carve your name only because your rage drowned Olympus?
They remember me because I changed. Rage destroyed, but it also taught me the cost. Sparta fell despite my slaughter. Olympus fell despite my vengeance. Yet my son lives, and in him I see new futures. Tell me, Khal, when your son died unborn, did you grieve for the child? Or only for the prophecy that slipped away?
I grieved both for prophecy and for blood. The stallion who mounts the world died before his first cry, and with him part of me. You call gods parasites, yet I lost my son to a god's curse, a witch's trick. Do you not see? Power without conquest invites curses. Even you cannot keep fate from your bloodline.
Fate is nothing but chains forged by liars. I broke the fates of Greece, cut their threads myself. Atreus will not be bound by prophecy, not if I can help it, but you. Your whole life is prophecy, a title, a promise, a stallion who mounts the world. Did Khal Drogo ever live for himself, or only for the story sung in his name?
A man is the story he leaves. I live to carve mine across the grasslands, to burn fear into cities, to make my riders immortal in song. That is life to a Dothraki. You speak of breaking fate, but fate follows you like shadow. Even in Midgard, God's whisper of Kratos is doom itself. If you broke fate, why do they still fear your name?
They fear because they know what happens when gods abuse power. I am warning, not prophecy. My name is a reminder that even immortals fall. You see fear as legacy, but fear dies with the fearful. Ask Xerxes, ask Odin, ask Zeus. All feared, all fallen. If fear is your song, what happens when no one is left to sing it?
Then silence becomes the song. The world itself remembers. Sand holds blood, stone holds fire. Fear is eternal because new men rise to feel it. The weak are born in every generation. You can kill gods, Kratos, but can you kill weakness itself? Or will you swing your blades until your son carries the same curse you bear?
Weakness is not curse, it is lesson. I teach Atreus to learn, not to be chained. Rage consume me, wisdom may yet free him. You call silence a song, I call it peace. Tell me, Khal, when your braid falls at last, what will remain? Will the Dothraki remember Drogo as conqueror, or as a man who mistook prophecy for destiny?
They will remember Drogo as fire that could not be quenched, as a Khal who rode unbroken until death stole him. Prophecy or not, fear will echo. And you ghost of Sparta, when Atreus buries you, will he remember a father who loved him, or a god slayer who taught him that every path ends in blood?
He will remember both. He will know that his father was monster and man, destroyer and protector. He will see the truth and still choose to be better. That is my legacy, not fear, not prophecy, but choice. And when history weighs Khal Drogo against Kratos, it will ask one question: who left the world with something beyond ashes?